Yousuf, how you doing?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So there's obviously a reason why we're on this call today.
hmm
You've done really, really well. So how much? I guess let's go straight into the numbers. How much have you made in the past month?
In pounds, 4 grand, my first month closing.
Awesome. So that's 5.4k USD,
Yeah, yeah,
which is not bad, mate. Not bad at all.
yes,
Considering, yeah, as I said, this is like your first. So you've been closing now for probably about a month and a half. Is that right?
yeah. Just under 6 weeks, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, just under 6 weeks, and yeah, the past 4 weeks you've absolutely smashed it. But yeah, today just want to go through I think your whole journey, mate. Like where you started, what you were doing before, where you're at. Give people like a really good idea of what it takes to make money through high ticket sales and your journey, everything really. What really motivated you in wanting to do it in the first place. But I think that would be a good place to start. So, what was the kind of motivation behind wanting to actually get involved with it?
well, straight out of uni, working in corporate, I knew pretty quickly that it wasn't for me. I guess having the economics degree, then working in corporate finance, kind of go hand in hand. So I just, I guess, followed the natural path, and I knew there were other opportunities out there. I just never really, I guess, took the time to really explore what was there for me. And then, when I was leaving Pepsi at the end of March, um, I spent about a month deciding what I wanted to do, and then saw online business as kind of the way to go, for reasons which I'm sure we're going to get into. But I
Mhm.
guess for now, got put in touch with you for a thread through a friend, and I researched the high ticket sales space, this whole area in general, and thought that it could be for me for a number of reasons. So I thought,
Mm.
why not take the leap? This looks like something that could work. It is working for other people. Why not for me? And took the jump, and yeah, couldn't be happier, to be honest.
Yeah. No, you're smashing it, mate. I think that's really important what you said there. Like, if others are doing it, why can't you? I think
Yeah,
that's such a good mindset to have because a lot of people put others on a pedestal. They'll probably see this video of someone like you and go, fuck, Yusuf made that amount of money. There must be something special. He must be really good. He must, have some God given gift of sales. But like you and I both
no,
know that me and
yeah,
you, there's
yeah,
nothing, we're just normal blokes, from the UK who
yeah,
thought, fuck it, let's just give this a go and try
literally,
it and see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. And it's I was telling you the other day when I reviewed like a call we did. It was recorded. This was months ago. I looked at my role play at the end of it, and I was like, no way, like that's not where I started.
I know, it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy. You've improved so
yeah,
quickly over the
thank
past
you.
few months. So we started working together. Um, when was
May,
it? May,
literally 1st of May.
1st of May. Yeah,
Yeah,
1st of May. But let's talk more about your background. So you were at uni. You're doing corporate. You're doing economics.
economics.
Again, clearly, you're pretty switched on bloke. You're pretty smart. So what was that like? And how was because you worked at Amazon, obviously a massive corporate company, and then
Yeah,
Pepsi afterwards. Amazon was in your year in industry.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, when you left uni, let's talk a bit about that. Working at Pepsi, what was it like? What was kind of the reason why you thought, actually, you know what, this isn't actually for me, and I don't want to be working here anymore?
Well, I got the role for Pepsi literally the morning of my graduation. They told me that, yeah, we're going to give you the role, and it felt pretty good, obviously, as it does when you get a massive role like that, straight out of uni. I felt pretty lucky, but also, because I did that year at Amazon, I kind of had a feeling of what it's going to be like. But I thought, it's a great company. I thought it was. Let's not get into that. It's a great company, great role. But so yeah, it was. I did it for what, a year and a half, and started off, all right. By all right, I mean, I was getting by doing my day-to-day job, and it was fine, but it wasn't very fun at all. It was like, honestly, it was. I didn't want to do it. Like, it just. I don't know how to explain it, mate. It was just
I
very
think the fact that you
monotonous.
say like it was fine, I feel like that kind of sums it up because we've spoken quite a lot
Yeah,
about it, and it's not terrible. Let's be honest. You're making decent money. Like I
yeah.
said to you the other day, on paper, things are going great. Most
Well,
people
yeah,
aren't are struggling to get jobs straight out of uni. You land a graduate or like a graduate role, whatever, decent cash. What was it? You making like 3k a month, something like
no,
that.
but it was 2.8.
Yeah, 2.8k
Yeah,
a month. You're a grad. You work for a
yeah,
big company. On paper,
yeah,
people are looking at you and probably thinking, "Shit, Yusuf's got his shit sorted out.
yeah.
He's doing really, really well." Um, but yeah, like not terrible. But then also, it's like you're not really getting that fulfillment from what you've told me. Yeah,
Well, that's what it looked like. As you said, on paper, people heard I was working for Pepsi, family, friends, thought it was pretty cool. Obviously, because everyone knows who they are. But
yeah,
I guess it's kind of a different story when you're in there. And yeah, you're completely right when you say like it's fine, like we're okay with just, I guess, getting by. But it's not what I want to wake up and do. And
no.
that was the same every day. Pretty much. Oh God, not this again.
Yeah. And what was like because a lot of people, again, and I'm sure you had these feelings of like, fuck, I'm not enjoying this, but then also I don't want to leave. I've got this money coming in, the paycheck at the end of the month, it's consistent, it's reliable. Like, what was your mindset? Because again, a lot of people wouldn't do this, but what was your mindset of like, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna take a risk here and cut my income and try something different? Like, what made you actually, do that, would you say?
I think, to be honest, I was started looking at sales roles literally a year after I joined. So way before I met you,
Yeah.
and that was, I guess, obviously corporate sales, 9 to 5 still. Didn't really looked into it, but that was about it. But then I just guess carried on thinking like there's got to be more out there than just this. There was a lot of shifts going on at the company as well, that sort of thing,
Hmm.
and I just thought I could easily get another corporate finance job. My CV for my age is pretty good. Not many people have worked for Amazon, for Pepsi. Um, so to have those names, I could have easily just settled out and gone for another big company. But I just knew after 2 experiences it'd be the same thing. I just knew that in the back of my mind. Not in the back of my mind, like I knew it front and center, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just knew it'd be the same thing. I knew it wasn't what I wanted. And then, as I mentioned, the online business space was something which I heard about. I guess so you always see this stuff
Mm,
online, but until you look into it, you actually don't realize how much potential there is in it. So, once again, it's one of those, I guess, why not? Um,
yeah.
I guess I'm relatively young, give it a go, and ultimately, if all else fails, I've still got my CV to fall back on. But obviously, that's not what I
100%.
wanted. It's
Yeah.
not what I wanted.
It's true
That
though. Like, you have like that base layer. And look, for people who have like family and kids, maybe it's different. But if you're in your 20s and you don't have family, you don't have kids, you don't have like crazy responsibilities, it's like you either give something a go
mm,
now or you never will get the chance to do it. Because
yeah,
once you have kids and a family and you have, tons and tons of bills to pay, you know, at that point it's hard. It's still doable, but it's a lot harder.
yeah,
But having the balls to go, I'm gonna move back in with my parents, or I'm gonna live with my parents. I'm gonna pay maybe minimal rent, save some money here and there wherever you can, and just grind out trying to get something off the ground to then give you that can then propel you to be even happier. I talk about it a lot in my content. It's going from like you were probably about a 6 out of 10 on the happiness scale
yeah.
working at Pepsi. Would you say that's fair?
Well, I'd say a 5 maybe.
Maybe a 5, right? In order to get to a 10, you have to drop down to like a 3
Yeah.
in order to then get to the 10. And most people won't do that, which, like, yeah, I guess because I had a similar thing. I think the big thing for me was like, I knew that I had to go through a hard period to
Oh
then
yeah.
get the result. Like, what do you feel like was your mindset when um, I guess, were going through that?
Um, I kind of knew that the grass would be greener on the other side. I didn't expect it to be all, rainbows and sunshine. I didn't expect to come in and make 10K every single month. But what I did know is that, with the right support and knowing that other people could also do it, it kind of, I guess, kept me going because very soon after I started working with you, I saw the potential, to be honest.
Mm,
And that's something which definitely helped. You could do like a million things, and at the end of the day, you might not, I guess, see the end goal. But I saw when it was getting tough, or when it was tough, I saw it as I guess, a means to an end, in terms of just push through, and you will get there because you put in the inputs. There's no reason why the outputs won't show, and you know it's turning out all right. So.
Yeah, more than all right. No, 100%. I think you have to go through that shit eating phase. I talk about it a
Yeah,
lot. But
yeah,
like, and I openly say this, and I said this to you before we started. I was like, look, mate, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take
hmm
effort. It's going to take time. But if you go through that, which you've done, you're literally the perfect example. You're now reaping the rewards of that effort that you've put in and the time that you put into it. And you touched on like the whole like online space. Like what obviously me and you both know that a lot of people are very skeptical about this online world. You were, I was,
yeah,
it's normal. And um I'm not, there's nothing wrong with it. I see why people are skeptical.
yeah,
But what was like your, how did you kind of overcome that and go, you know what, I'm just going to give this a go? Because again, it's scary, right? Investing
yeah,
money into someone you didn't really know me. We're pretty
hmm
good mates now, but you didn't know me
yeah.
at the start. So what was your mindset there, and how did you kind of overcome that fear that most people will have?
Um, it's kind of, I guess, as you mentioned, just take the risk. I mean, you had the receipts to show for it. So when it comes to you, I didn't think you were a scammer.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, as you said, a lot of people online kind of appear to be, and you can get skeptical. But I guess once you step into that space and you realize that, oh, this stuff is real, um, it kind of, I guess, shifts your mindset a bit because, in terms of, I guess, you've seen on social media. So when you're in the space, the people who I guess follow now, and whose feeds I see, the people I wouldn't have seen 6 months ago. Um,
mm.
the people I would have seen 6 months ago would probably be, I guess, those forex pros out in Dubai, with the Lambos, and that's what a lot of people see and their perception of it is. But there's so much more to it than that. There's so many avenues in this online business world. It's crazy, and you can do well in so many ways. I guess just as you said, it's just about kind of taking that step back, kind of being humble about it, and knowing that you're not going to get there overnight, and that's fine. But you put in months of grind and you'll be fine. Like if I stayed in corporate for 2 years, put in maximum effort, I still wouldn't be where I'm going to be after 6 months of knuckling down on this. And that's because I saw the potential pretty quickly.
I mean, it's ridiculous, right? You started in start of May, no sales experience. Obviously you had a bit of a corporate background, so I guess maybe a little bit, but not really any sales
In
experience.
sales, not at all, really, I'd
Yeah,
say. Yeah.
exactly. And it's May, June, July, end of August now. That's almost 4 months. You've now cleared £4,000 last 4 weeks. So it's like, are you willing to grind for three
Yeah.
months to then be able to have a skill set that can make you that kind of money and not work in a shitty company and be like tied down working for a huge like
Yeah.
corporate, conglomerate? It's like, are you willing to do that? Are you willing
But
to go
that's what
through
it
that
is.
phase?
That's what it is. It's you see. I mean, I see a lot of stuff online saying just 6 months of effort and hard work is all it takes. But I think that is completely true, because once you put in the work and you do really do nothing else but learn that skill, learn the space, learn the area, there's no reason why you can't do well.
I completely agree. It's like people, you're right. People underestimate when you're properly locked in on something and it's all you're thinking about and you're putting all your attention into it. The results you can get, you can speed track them so quickly.
Yeah,
And it's like, as you spoke about, if you wanted to get to that kind of level of money, but also, I mean, I don't think you'll ever be able to get the location freedom
but yeah,
from a corporate job. So if that's something you value, like, just realize you're never going to get that. But even financially, it probably would have taken you a few years to even get to a point where you could make 4K a month, which is a
yeah,
50K salary, right?
yeah. It's what I think about, and it's crazy because obviously to get that as well, especially working corporate finance, you have to, do your qualification as well, get your qualification. It's called like
Mm.
an ACA or ACCA, whichever one you go for, and so you're essentially chartered. And to do that, alongside your job, you'd have to put in 2.5, 3 years of work on top of your job. And I saw family members do it, my friends are doing it now, and people I was working with are doing it. And it's like you get into the office at 6 to work for 2 hours to get your qualification, and then you work when you get home, you work on the weekend just to get a qualification to prove to somebody else that you can climb to that next level. I thought, no. So my boss sat down with me and said, when do you want to start your qualification? Then that's when I thought, I don't really want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
I'm not doing that. Yeah. Let me know how it is.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
expensive. They pay for it all. But that's completely besides the point, to be honest. Like, to get to the, making that 4K a month, um, it is more work than is necessary, to be honest.
Mm, literally. And I mean now, like you've got so much, like you're making 4K a month now, or you've made 4K in the last month, and it's like you're not really working like you are working obviously and you're
Yeah.
grinding, but like and you're doing the training and stuff. But on average, how many calls are you taking a day? Maybe like two or three,
Well,
roughly.
that's it. I guess in terms of actual um, work where I'm actually making the money, yeah, it's 2-3 calls a day. I mean, obviously, I do want that to ramp up, and it is going to ramp up. But
Yeah.
that's with offers in which I was the first part of the sales team. They'd never had closers before, they'd never had setters before. So this is before these offers have even ramped up. Um,
Mm,
so this,
exactly.
so
So much potential.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like the bang for your buck in terms of effort and time
yeah,
is just so much better in a space like this, and that's why sales is good in any sales is good anyway. Like no matter what you do, because you are rewarded for your
hmm
it's a meritocracy, right? If you
yeah.
do
That's
well,
what I
you
like
get
about it.
paid. And that's
Yeah,
why it's so good. And for
yeah,
some people, I guess that's not, they prefer like the consistent income, but
yeah.
people like us, it's like, no, we like to push to the next level. We're competitive.
Exactly.
We want to do
Like
well.
I want the more calls I take, the more money I can make. So I guess
Exactly.
what, in any corporate job, you work 2 hours of overtime every day. I saw it with the people working above me. They were in the office at 7, leaving at about 7 or 8. For those extra hours of work you're doing, you're not getting paid anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. When you can see a direct return, it's very motivating, isn't it?
It is, yeah, yeah, and especially obviously you do take I guess the actual time you're making the money is when you're on these sales calls. But what I've learned is so much of it is done outside of it. It's done outside of
Mm.
those hours to kind of get to that level.
Yeah, I mean, again, you do 2 or 3 calls a day, but then there's, you're still training, improving, getting better.
Yeah,
We don't want to give the impression that
yeah. Don't
you're
want
like,
to get
oh,
complacent.
two
Yeah,
2 hours a day and make
yeah,
4K a month. Nah, you
yeah,
still have to grind, like we've
yeah,
spoken about. I think it is important to talk about that, and I want to touch on that now. Is like obviously a lot of people in this online world will say, oh, you can make 10K a month with high ticket sales and sit on a beach all day and do nothing and drink cocktails, get pissed. It's not the
yeah.
reality, right?
No,
So tell me a bit more about like how, that first, I guess that grind period, that first 2 months where, granted, you went away for a couple of those weeks,
yeah.
with your family or on holiday, but tell me about how you found sort of transitioning and starting, learning how to sell for one, but also trying to get on the right offers too.
Well, when it was completely new, I was at the beginning very motivated. So and that kind of stayed in terms of this. I understood this is completely new to me. I'm not good at it. I don't know it. To become the level you want to get to actually make the money you see those other people making. They haven't got there overnight. You have to put in the work. So I think that's what it was. It was just going through the training. Always being present in the group calls. Asking you if I needed any help, and just kind of, just I guess following what other people are doing in this space, and it is just about ultimately locking in, learning a skill, and then becoming the best you can at it.
100%. And you worked like your first job, which was pretty tough. You were setting, right? You were
Yeah,
doing phone setting.
phone setting.
How was that?
Yeah, that was not great.
Yeah.
I guess once again you have to. We spoke about this. You have to do those things to not only get experience, but to really learn. And I was dialing maybe 120 numbers a day, all US hours as well. I was getting maybe 10 pickups a day, and not many conversations. But I wouldn't say I was too demotivated, because once again I did know it was a means to an end. Um, I knew that I'm not going to be closing overnight, and I shouldn't be either, because my skill set wasn't there. But you have to do this offers, not only build up your skill set, but build up your experience as well. And that's something which I did understand, and that's kind of why I dogged myself through it and knew that, as I mentioned, the grass is greener on the other side.
Definitely. I think there is it is underestimated. Like you do when you're on these offers, you're one, it is hard, and two, it's like you have to go through that. You have to work the shitty offers for a bit to
Yeah.
get that experience. I'm sure you look back now and you're like, oh, I'm actually really glad that I did that
Oh yeah, it's
second role.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it seems so long ago now, but it really wasn't.
I know.
It was 2.5 months ago. It's crazy, but it seems a world away.
I know. Time's flown, honestly. Like it
Yeah,
seems like we've been working together for ages.
I know.
But it's only been like 4 months. There's so much
Yeah,
more potential. So
yeah,
then from there, you then started selling fitness coaching.
yes,
That's right. And then also trading, trading
yes.
bot sort of thing. So how have you found that? Like actually going into closing and properly, getting yourself on sales calls.
Yeah, it's really good. The first closing role I had was setting and then closing my own sets, which was, it was good to take because not only would I get opportunity for closing, I'd be able to, I guess, set my own calls. And what I found through that is, the more work you put in, the more people you message, the more likely you are to get calls. I was kind of in control of how much output I'd have based on the inputs I put in. So that was definitely motivating. And it was, we spoke about this. It was long setting,
Mm.
but that's only because I knew I would be closing my own set. So I knew in the back of my mind, the more sets I made for myself, the more closing experience I'd get. And that's what it was at the beginning as well. It was, just trying to get on as many closing calls as possible, and that came through, just constantly messaging and getting those sets.
Yeah, 100%. And how was it like, the past 6 weeks, past 4 weeks, how's it been? Because you really see the effort, you put in the effort the past few months and now you're really reaping the rewards, you're getting the
Yeah.
closing, you're making the money. How is it? How does that actually feel now that you're actually doing it, making the money and you're beginning to see the results?
Yeah, it feels really good. It's nice to have other people setting for you.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is it also gives me more time to review my sales calls, work on what I can improve. Because that's when I was setting and closing my own sets. It was great because I was closing, but because I was also trying to have as many calls myself as possible, I was just setting, and I didn't have as much time to review my own sales calls and improve my process. But now I've got to the point where I'm just purely closing. It feels really good. And
Mm.
this is where, the point. This is the end game. This is where I wanted to get to. When I say the end game, I don't mean to stop here. I want to keep on leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. But in terms of actually closing it, this is why I started this whole thing. And to be doing that now, it's really good. It feels really good.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's been so good to. It's rewarding for me seeing you go because again, when you look back at those videos when we started
Hmm.
and you just had no idea what you were doing and
Yeah,
we both know you were pretty shit, but everyone's
yeah,
shit when they start. I
yeah.
was shit.
Everyone is.
And it's
Yeah,
just like you have to be shit. You have
yeah,
to go through the shit period to get good at anything.
yeah,
And it's like, are you willing to just drop your ego and give it a go, fuck up
exactly.
multiple times until
Yeah,
it works? And then when
exactly.
it does work and it does click, that's when you'll see the results. And it's again, like we said it a lot, but just going through those first couple months and grinding through those, once you get out the other side, it's great. And
Yeah.
you start to see it. So what's like the goals now then for the next few months where we're going to Portugal in about a month, which can be
Hmm.
sick.
Yeah.
But how, what's the plans before Christmas?
Before Christmas, it's kind of carry on leveling up, closing. I know one of the offers I'm on is gonna ramp up, so they're gonna start running ads, and that's gonna keep me busy. So I'm looking forward to that. But I guess just in terms of financial rewards, by the end of the year, I want to be on those 5-figure months, and I think that's where my aim. That's where I want to get to. So I think I will get to if I just keep on doing what I'm doing. It's about being on the right offer, as well as knowing how to close on those offers. So that's where I want to get to. Obviously, for now, just keep on consistently making money. You know, by the time we're in Portugal or maybe October time, easily be doing between 5 to 10, and then before the end of the year, have a 10K month.
100%, mate. There's no reason why you couldn't.
Oh yeah,
Like, again, you've improved so much. We've done that in the past 4 months. There's what, September, October, November, about 4 months till the end of the year. If we just keep going at the trajectory you're going, then there's absolutely no reason why you can't be making that money, which is pretty crazy to think about,
it
considering
is.
again, 4 months ago, you didn't even know what this space was, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. It's about having realistic expectations and then knowing how to meet those expectations. When I say I knew it was going to come overnight, I also knew it wasn't going to come a year, 2 years down the line. I knew if I put in the work, it would come quickly enough to, I guess, satisfy me. whilst also knowing that I've worked hard to get to that level and get to that stage, because it does feel rewarding when you know you've put in the work and you are starting to see the results of it.
100%. Because when you get something and you don't put in effort, it's never as rewarding.
Yeah.
So there's nothing better when you start making that money. And I remember it with me as well. It was just the best feeling ever. So no, it's been really, really cool to see your kind of journey.
Yeah.
And how have you found, obviously, working with myself and the community and everything, on that end?
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic, to be honest. There are a load of people out there who can, do high ticket sales, high ticket coaching, but I think what they don't have is someone like yourself, who so many of us can relate to, as well as, daily group calls, which I find massively helpful. Not only because it's an opportunity to role play every day outside of, the time we put in ourselves, also because it's constant time to get feedback, improve, just pick up tips, and the community is great. All the boys are great, and in terms of the training, it's something I still go back to be honest. I still, to be fair, it's got to the point now where I'm pretty much moving away from a script or framework. I have it next to me, but I know what I want to ask when I want to ask it, and that's only come from the constant, I guess, feedback with you, the role plays, the coaching. It's been really good. Yeah, couldn't be happier, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's good. It's just fun. Like, I just love, it's the best times of the day when we all jump on every day for an hour, just have a bit of chat at the start, bit of crack. It's not, I think that's the biggest thing for me is like, there are, like you kind of mentioned it there, relatability. There's a lot of guys who do similar things to me and fair, maybe they are good coaches, but for me, it's about building a real community of guys, everyone getting along, you're not just some fucking weirdo online who has no friends and is an incel in his room. We want to build something, which again is why we're going to Portugal, why we plan. I'm sure we'll travel together to other places over the next few months, which is going to be sick. But yeah, I think that's a big part of it as well, is that community feel.
It is, and that's, I think, one of the best things about it. You talk to the boys. Like me and Jed had a phone call yesterday, just to kind of talk about how we're at, catch up, just see what's going on. It's like, you do become friends with these people, and that's because a few reasons. Firstly, relatability. You're all working towards the same goal, and you're all putting in the same inputs. You're kind of in the same mindset. I think that they're the main reasons why it really helps.
Yeah, it's sick. It's so good to see. I love it. I love like just seeing where everyone's going, everyone's progressing, and we're gonna do some cool shit over the next few months and years together, all of us. It's gonna be sick. I'm really excited for it. And finally, if you were talking to someone, someone who's maybe watched a bit of the content, maybe they're thinking about getting into high ticket sales, maybe they've got the similar, feelings that we had. Is it real? Can I actually do this? Can I make it happen? Like, what would you say to someone who's sort of on the edge and really thinking about doing it?
Just think about what you want. If we speak about this a lot, and we even do it, on sales calls. Do you want to settle? Are you happy with where you're at, or do you really think that you can push yourself that even more further? Really, there is so much potential opportunity out there, and I think you're not gonna, I guess, see it by looking on the outside. You're gonna have to jump into the pool and dive into it, and that's how you get to the end goal.
100%. You gotta take the leap at some point. You gotta jump in the deep end.
You have to jump in the deep end.
100%. 100%. All right, mate. Well, look. Again, this sounds like a dad talking to his son. I'm really proud of you. Like, you have done
Thank you, mate.
well, bro. Like, you've really pushed. You've put in a lot of work. I've seen it over the past few months. So it's so good to see you like beginning to get the rewards. And yeah, I'm sure over the next few months, it's just going to get better and better. And the next time we jump on one of these calls, you would have smashed a 5-figure month, which I'm very much looking forward to.
So am I. It's my motivation to get on another call with you.
Exactly.
Hit that 5K month, so I could do another one of these.
Exactly.
5-figure month, even. Yeah.
All right, brother. Awesome. All right, good to chat. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you later,
mate. See you later. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.